Hello friend, today we have to discuss the breakdown in solid dielectric. In the last lecture we have to discuss the breakdown in liquid dielectric. The solid insulating materials are used for almost all electrical equipment. It an electric heater or 500 megawatt generator or circuit breaker. Solid insulations form an integral part of all electrical equipment, especially when the operating voltages are high. The solid insulation not only provides the insulation to the live part of the equipment from the ground structure, it sometimes provides the mechanical supports to the equipment. In general, of course, the suitable combination of solid, liquid and gaseous insulations are used. The process responsible for the breakdown of gaseous dielectricals are governed by the rapid growth of the current due to emission of electron from the cathode, ionization of the gas particles and fast development of avalanche process. When breakdown occurs, the gases regain their dielectric very fast and the liquid regain partially and solid dielectrical lose their strength completely. The breakdown of the solid dielectrics not only depends upon the magnitude of the applied voltage, but also it is a function of time for which the voltage is applied. Roughly speaking, the product of breakdown voltage and the log of the time required for the breakdown is almost constant, that is V b is equal to log of T b is equal to constant. This graph shows the variation of V b with the time of application. T will be the time on the x axis and V b is the variation, that is on voltage. The dielectric strength of solid material is affected by the various factors, that is ambient temperature, humidity, duration of test, impurities, structural defects, whether AC, DC or impulse voltage being used, pressure applied to the electrodes, etc. The mechanism of breakdown in solids is again less understood. However, is said that the time of application plays an important role in the breakdown process. For discussion purpose, it is convenient to divide the time scale of voltage application into region in which a different mechanism operates. There will be various mechanisms are present. First one is intrinsic breakdown, second electromechanical breakdown, breakdown due to the treeing and tracking, thermal breakdown and electrochemical breakdown. These are the different breakdown we have to shown on the graph. First, we have to discuss the intrinsic breakdown. If the dielectric material is pure and homogeneous, the temperature and environmental conditions are suitably controlled, and if the voltage is applied for short time of order of 10 raised to minus 8 second, the dielectric strength of specimen increases rapidly to an upper limit, is known as intrinsic dielectric strength. The intrinsic strength therefore depend mainly upon the structural design of the material, that is the material itself, and is affected by the ambient temperature, as the structure itself might change slightly by the temperature conditions we have to shown here in the figure. In order to obtain the intrinsic dielectric strength of a material, the samples are so prepared that there is high stress in the center of the specimen and much low stress at the corner. Already we have to shown in the figure, that is at the center there will be more stress and at the corner there will be less stress. The intrinsic breakdown is obtained in the time of order 10 raised to minus 8 second, and therefore, has been considered to be electronic in nature. The stress required are of the order of 1 million volt per second, and the intrinsic strength is generally assumed to have been reached when electrons in the avalanche it will be a valence band again the sufficient energy from the electric field to cross the forbidden energy band to the conduction band. In pure and homogeneous material, the valence and the conduction band are separated by the large energy gap at room temperature. No electron can jump from the valence band to the conduction band. The stress required are of the order of the conductivity of pure dielectric at room temperature is therefore 0. However, in practice no insulating material is pure and therefore has some impurities and imperfection in their structural design. The impurity atoms may act as a traps for free electron in the energy level that lies just below the conduction band is small. An amorphous crystal will be therefore always have some free electrons in the conduction band. At the room temperature, some of the trapped electrons will be excited thermally into the conduction band as the energy gap between the trapping band and conduction band is small. An electron entering the conduction band of the dielectric at the cathode will move towards the anode under the effect of electric field. During its movement, it gains energy, and on a collision, it loses a part of the energy. If the mean free path is long, the energy gained due to the motion is more than the lost during collision. The process continues and finally may leads to formation of an electron avalanche similar to gas and will leads to the finally breakdown if the avalanche exceeds the certain critical size. Now we have to discuss the electromechanical breakdown. When a dielectric material is subjected to an electric field, charge of opposite nature are induced on the two opposite surface of the material, and hence a force of attraction is developed and the specimen is subjected to electrostatic compressive force. When this force exceeds the mechanical withstand strength of the material collapses. If the initial thickness of the material is d0 and is compressed thickness is d under the applied voltage V, capital V, then the compressive stress developed due to the electric field is F. It will be given by half epsilon naught epsilon r V square divided by d square, where epsilon r is the relative permittivity of the specimen and gamma is the Young's modulus, and the mechanical compressive strength is gamma of log of d0 upon d. Equating the two under equilibrium condition, we have half of epsilon 0 epsilon gamma V square divided by d square is equal to gamma log of d0 upon d. From that we have to solve the equation and we get V square is equal to d square into 2 gamma divided by epsilon 0 epsilon r log of d0 upon d, or further it will be a k into d square into gamma log of d0 upon d. Representing the above equation with respect to d, we get the next equation, and from that 2d into gamma of d0 upon d is equal to d, that is log of d0 upon d is equal to half, or d upon d0 is equal to 0.6. The highest apparent strength is then obtained by substituting the value of d is equal to 0.6 into d0. The above expression becomes the V upon d is equal to 2 gamma divided by epsilon 0 epsilon r into log of 1.67. This will be under the square root. Third one is the thermal breakdown. When an insulating material is subjected to an electric field, the material gets heated up due to conduction current and dielectric losses due to the polarization. The conductivity of the material increases with increase in the temperature, and the condition of instability is reached when the heat is generated exceeds the heat dissipated by the material, and the material will be breaks down. The thermal stability or instability of different fields we have shown in the figure. These curves are corresponding to different electric stresses as a function of specimen temperature. Assuming that the temperature difference between the ambient and specimen temperature is small, and Newton's law of cooling is represented by the straight line we have shown here in the dotted line. The test specimen at the thermal equilibrium corresponding to the field E1 at temperature T1 as beyond that the heat generated is less than the heat lost. Unstable equilibrium exists for field E2 at temperature T2. For field E3, the state of equilibrium is never achieved, hence the specimen breaks down thermally. In order to obtain the equation for thermal breakdown, we have to discuss here. The temperature gradient is delta T divided by delta x is approximate is equal to dt upon dx. Let delta x2 is equal to A. Heat flow across the space 1 k into A dt upon dx joule. Heat flow across the phase 2, it will be the Ka dt upon dx minus Ka into d upon dx into dt upon dx into delta x. Here we have to consider as a cubical specimen, and here heat will be flow from one surface to the second phase. Here the second term indicates the heat input to the differential specimen. Therefore, the heat absorbed by the differential cube volume, it will be the k into A d upon dx into dt upon dx into delta x divided by del V is equal to k into d upon dx into dt upon dx. The heat input to the block will be partly dissipated into the surrounding, and partly it will be rises the temperature of the block. Let Cv is the thermal capacity of the dielectric, rho is the electrical conductivity, E is the electric field intensity. The heat generated by the electric field, rho into E watt. Suppose the rise in temperature of the block is delta T in time dt. The power required to rise the temperature of the block by delta T is Cv into d upon dt upon dt in watt. Therefore, Cv into d capital T divided by d small t plus k into d upon dt into dt upon dx is equal to rho into E square. The solution of the above equation will give us the time required to reach the critical temperature Tc, for which thermal instability will reach and the dielectric will loses its insulating property. This table indicates the different materials, that is ceramic, organic material, crystal and quartz. It will be shows the different thermal breakdown voltages we have to shown in the figure in the table. Then we have to discuss the next one is the breakdown in composite dielectric. A vacuum system is one in which the pressure maintained is at value below the atmospheric pressure and is measured in terms of mm of mercury. One standard atmospheric pressure at 0 degree Celsius is equal to 760 mm of mercury. 1 mm of Hg pressure is also known as 1 torr after the name of the Tollerial, who was the first to obtain the pressure below atmosphere. With the help of mercury barometer, sometimes 10 raised to minus 3 torr is known as 1 micron. It is known as possible to obtain the pressure low as 10 raised to minus 8 torr. In the composite dielectrics is nothing but the two or more dielectrics are used to form one dielectric media for the application, and according to the use of material and according to the applied voltage, the breakdown will be depends. Thank you friend. This is the breakdown, various types of breakdown in solid dielectric. Thank you.